Welcome to another edition of Nikki B and Friends. What up, friends?
What's going on?
Nothing to it. So what you, Coach?
You know, same old. What about I'm gonna take it to Shan. What about you, Shan?
I am good this week.
You was bad last week.
It was a struggle. A lot of overtime. So I was a little tired, but I'm good this week.
Why a little overtime? It's hard being a single parent.
So I have, like I told y'all about my project management certification starting in December. So I'm really trying to get a lot of things wrapped up, some bills paid a little early, Christmas presents and stuff done early, so that I could really focus on that like the whole month of December. So I've been putting a little overtime, get some stuff taken care of. That's all.
That's what's up, goals. That's what I like to hear. Goals.
Okay, so real quick question for Shan. So since you like bossing up with the project management thing, who are you not gonna be friends with anymore?
What do you mean by that? Like,
I mean, you know, I heard around the way that you're gonna be friends with people once you like boss up to a certain level.
Yeah. We're about to talk about that in a minute, so
Yeah.
You could think about it and let us know.
I don't know that I'm really going to like not be friends with people, but I am going to be taking some time to just focus on, making sure that I am, completing that and getting ready for the test. So not that I'm going to, kiss away any of my friends. It's just I'm going to take a brief hiatus.
Okay, she too PC for me. What's going on with you, Nick?
Nothing much. Just started a new position, so you know how that goes. So I'm getting into the groove of that, and that everything seems to be going, okay. Doing better. I would say I was doing a little better with my grieving, but still kind of going through the grieving process, if I'm being honest, and just taking things one day at a time. But overall, doing pretty good. Weather changing, and we done had some cold days up here, but see, we kind of look forward to some winter days, cause then a little bit less shooting.
Yeah.
I guess the people too lazy to go out in the snow, or
you gotta think you gotta pull your hand out your pocket to shoot somebody.
Right.
Them hands get cold shooting.
Exactly. So otherwise I'm doing good. Let me just do my quick disclaimer for everybody. Our regular listeners, I apologize that we didn't, there wasn't a new show for you last week, because we are retaping the show because the show seemed, I seemed a little aggressive. So it almost seemed as if me and Coach was arguing because
a little bit.
Shan really wasn't saying nothing, and so I just didn't like the way it came off. We're talking about the same subject. However, I'm just going to approach some things different. And we're going to kind of let Shannon come in, but she's going to kind of moderate for us today. Got a new sound effect for us that I'll be doing.
Lord, that it be a new toy. Lord God.
Yeah, but I didn't know right before we dive into the show. I didn't know like we was like doing the official what's going on the first time I answered.
Okay.
Oh, so you got some stuff you want to share?
Yes, it's definitely a couple.
Okay, we listening.
Like a few things I want to share.
You said what? I'm sorry.
When we did the first Like, hey, what you been up to? I thought that was the simple one. We usually do too. Where it's like, what's going on with you? Then it's like, oh, I'm cool. Then it come back. Yeah, so what you got going on? See, so
Right, but you know what? I started off with you. I think you just not used to starting
I
off.
think that
But
is too.
then, right,
Yeah.
so you're not used to starting off. So you thought
Yeah.
we was coming back to you so you could tell us the good stuff you was doing. So,
Yeah.
all right, then I got
Yeah.
I got the cue. I got the cue.
Yeah. Go ahead. All right.
All right. So what's going on with you, Coach?
Oh, me? Oh. Yes. So like I just threw myself a surprise party here. But
Right.
so a couple new partnerships. Just partner with an international songwriting competition. Any artist, they cover so many genres that want to submit their music. Go to international songwriting competition. You can win up to $25,000 in prizes. It has a good panel of judges and also partners associated with it, including but not limited to Kevin Gates, Jeremiah, and Rakim, and a lot of industry people. So
And yourself.
yeah, and myself.
That's what's up. That's
And
what's up.
and also it happened about a couple days ago. Asylum Records reached out to me. You guys may have heard of them, maybe not. They under Warner.
I have heard
Partner
it.
together to handle their press. So that's another one. And I just started a new company, Global World Press Agency, a PR company. You know, I always done consulting. I've been doing consulting for a couple of years now, kind of more behind the scenes, but now instead of on the back page, it's on the front page.
That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so
So it
that's
looked like you got a lot of great things,
yeah.
you know, going on and happening, and wow. So when you say a part of the judge and what they'll send you,
Yes. Well, they would send it through the website, and then they filter it more for us, and then we all can make a decision. Everybody is a great range of people who will make a decision. But the last two people who've won, these are people that I'm familiar with that came across my travels. These people get record deals usually
okay,
after this. Like even the one that you guys made on are you guys familiar with the movie Let It Shine? Came out years back with
I've
like
never seen it.
the boy from
yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
Hates Chris was in
yeah,
the
yeah.
little music movie. Well, the girl from that, she was actually a contestant and she won.
Okay,
Like last year, she was one of the winners from it. So
all right, that's what's up.
yeah.
So let's do another good old sound effect for Coach.
Ah,
Round
hilarious.
of applause.
Yes.
You're doing your thing, and I'm proud of you. So,
Appreciate
you know,
you.
that's how, you know, people need to be grinding like that when people have people out there, they dream.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sound effect today. So, now that we've done how we're doing, Shannon, did you have anything to add about how you was doing? You just said you're just busy on your project management stuff.
That's it. That's it.
All right. So, again, so this week's topic is how do you know when a friendship has run its course? So I actually even looked up how do you know it, and then also I posed the question, and again, I'll be sharing some of those comments as well. So, Shan, how do you know that a friendship has run its course? And is it an expiration date? Can you be friends with somebody 20 years and then not be friends anymore?
I don't think that there's really ever an expiration date to a friendship. I feel like friend is something a title for a person that should be strongly considered. You can't call everybody your friends. That's number one. So if a person makes it to the friend zone, as we like to say, you really consider this person to be somebody special. I think you guys can like grow apart. I think you guys can take off into different directions. Everybody can live their own lives, but I don't think that there ever really there's not really an expiration to a friendship. Now, if a person is, getting out of character, they become disrespectful, or they just changing in ways that, just not are them, then maybe then, but, if it's just a matter of y'all growing apart or whatever, probably not.
Okay, Shan, you changed, because last time we discussed it, you said when they not on nothing and you on something, you didn't get a promotion and they
stay. I had a moment to really think about that.
Okay.
So I kind of did change my position a little bit. I've had a second to think about it.
Okay. Yeah, we all have. So I'll go. I say that I think that, friendships, can run its course. They say people are in your life for a reason, a season, and, sometimes a lifetime. So I think that there are some lifetime friendships, and then, some that don't last a lifetime, that could last pretty long. You know what I mean? So the reason why this, they say I've been through these two things in the last couple of months. And so they say that death and so funerals and death and weddings show you who people really are. And I can totally say that I totally agree with that, because I have been surprised with those two things happening so close of some things that happen. So, and I'm okay with, friendships not lasting a long time. If you're not someone into my life in a positive way, I just don't like drama, and I like being stress-free. And especially right now with what I'm going through, if you call yourself a friend of mine and I haven't heard from you, like, I'm starting to look at you a little different. So, Coach?
This is what I think. I first have to address one thing. Like, Shan totally misused friend zone. Like, when you make it in a friend zone, that is a bad thing. Like, that's when...
Not necessarily.
This is the thing. If a dude in the friend zone, it's over. Like, a girl would never take you serious. That's when you like her brother. And fellas, you don't want to be like no girl brother.
I don't think I misused it at all. I feel like if I friend zone you, then we have the potential to have a great friendship. I don't want to be romantically involved with you, but you are a cool person.
Yeah, what? Here's the thing. I have a rule, and I don't mind sharing that rule with people, because, that's just me. I can be friends with a girl that I'm not sleeping with. Easy. But I can't be friends with a woman that I can't be with. Like, I just don't stand it. Even if I wanted it to happen. Boy, gone, you like my brother. No.
You just said you can't be friends with somebody that you can't.
No, I can't. Because the thing, and not saying that if she got a boyfriend. I'm just saying if we both was available, and I still was like, yeah, girl, how about, come on, coach, you like my brother. I ain't like too many people, brother, because I don't have a lot of siblings. So I got to check up the deuces. Really? You that shallow? I am. I am, because I'm not about to put myself through that, because dudes stick around for that type of stuff because it'd be a lot of pride and ego. Like, I can't have this, so I'm about to stick around and for her to get hurt by a few more dudes, and I'm gonna be right there. It's not.
And be the one telling.
You think she don't know that you a good dude? Okay, she know you a good dude. That's why she crying to you. Okay, but off that, back to the subject at hand. No, had to address that was talking about friends. But yeah, let me reel it back in. So I don't think friendships have expiration dates. I just think everything is situational. So I think once you're friends with somebody to a certain point, I think even if y'all can fall out, that's because family, that's something that family do. And at that point, y'all are family. So at that point, y'all might not be cool for a certain period where it's like, we having a falling out. We just not even talking to each other. But I do think at some point y'all will reconnect at some point, just because there's so much history there. There's so much love there that eventually you ain't, because nobody is really truly mad forever unless something just happens so unforgivable. Because it'll just be like, man, I wonder how they doing. Let me reach out. And people, especially when family's involved, you've been around for 20 years, y'all know each other family at this point. So even family's going to be like, man, why don't you go ahead and reach out? Same on their end, man, why don't y'all go ahead and reach out? Y'all petty. Y'all didn't know each other too long and too much love there for y'all not to be talking. So I think at some point in those situations, y'all will become cool. It would take maybe sleeping with somebody's husband type level where y'all couldn't just be friends again. But otherwise, anything not that, I think y'all could probably reconcile at a certain point.
I'm going to have to agree with Coach on that one. I feel like even for a person to make it to a place of being called a friend, not an associate, is two different things. Associates are just people you kind of hang out with from time to time. If I consider you my friend, I respect you as a person. You embody, qualities and morals that I see in myself. Maybe some things we do have in common. And I just really hold you near and dear to my heart. So I really don't think that if we made a connection like that at any time I could just be like, you know what? I ain't friends with you no more. I mean, unless like Coach says you sleep with my husband or, you know what I'm saying? You do something scandalous like that. But, we will have falling outs. It's just how things go. But I think that's a test of your friendship. Like, yeah, we done fell out, but we way too cool for this. We got way too much history. We've had a lot of good times, and we just got to get an understanding and let bygones be bygones. It is what it is. So
how many chances do you give someone? So if y'all done fell out, I get that, that does happen. Y'all fall out, y'all argue or whatever, y'all fell out, may not speak for a while, and then y'all can pick back up and start off. But how many times do you give a person a pass for being ignorant? You know what I mean? Because, I know somebody, if they ignorant enough where it'll be something silly and they won't even speak to their own child for months. And you know what I mean? How many passes do you give somebody before you finally say, you know what, this really not my friend. This is a one-way friendship.
But I think I don't think there is a certain amount of passes somebody gets. I really just think it depends on the person, because some people, you just understand them. You for good and bad, flaws and all, you like, I just understand this person and I understand their ignorance. Mm-hmm. And it's because you can't love people based upon how you think they should be. If you're going to be in somebody's life or they're going to be in your life, you have to love them and accept them for who they are. Mm-hmm. And that can determine where y'all go through. Like a perfect example for me is I'll just keep it a full bone with y'all. Like with my relationship with my dad, where I wouldn't hear from him unless I reached out to him. And eventually I got to a point where I'm not talking to him unless he hit me up. Did that. Still didn't hear from him. So then eventually I kept I wasn't accepting of the fact of just how he was. It took a lot of me taking my own personal time to understand, okay, I understand at the end of the day, he's human. He has his own life. He deals with his own things. And instead of trying to get him to be who I want him to be. Let me love him and accept him for who he is, and understand. Let me work with him. You know, because at the end of the day, he's a human being. Even before my father, he's a human being, and he needs the same type of patience and understanding that anybody else would need. And that's helped me a great deal.
No, that's good. And again, I would say, that's good to think that way. But then sometimes you think, if this is the way they are, then this is somebody that I don't want in my space. I don't care how long it's been, or how long we've been friends. At this point in my life, if you showed me time and time again, then I just don't need you in my space or my life. And I mean, if we've been friends a long time, you could still call my sisters your sisters and still hang out with family and check on, my mama, but we don't have to talk. Like, we don't have to deal with each other at all. And I say that, even, family. That's why you see, some people closer with friends than family and stuff like that. Yeah. But I think a lot of people put the emphasis on how long. Like, it can be heartbreaking, because I do know someone who they've been friends for a really, really long time, and they are no longer friends, and they're more associates. So I wouldn't say when I say no longer friends, more associates, because a guy kind of got in the middle, and cussed out the friend. But this is somebody that the other one was dating. The other friend felt as if she should have told her man, that's wrong, don't talk to her like that or whatever. And so they, have fallen out, been friends since elementary school. And I think that, okay, if we not cool and not talking and stuff, okay, but don't start telling my business to people, because now she telling her business, and just making it. And like my family, if the girl really wanted to blast the other girl, like I remember her mama letting her live with them at one point in time, because her parents were going through a rough time. So to me, that's the ultimate portrayal, is somebody get mad. I don't even like when people get mad and tell me somebody business who they've been friends with. Because it's like, I'll never tell you nothing that I don't want nobody else to know, because if this is how you play the game, then that's wrong.
Yeah, but even with a situation like that, I still think that they could become cool one day. Because the only true test that really decides if you and somebody will ever be cool again is time. Mm-hmm. No matter how long y'all go without being cool, the only thing that's for sure going to let you know if I'm ever going to be cool with this person again is time. Time will always be the tell for that, especially when a person's partner becomes involved. That's usually more common reason why people who've been cool for a good minute fall out, just because a person partner gets involved in some way, and now a person is stuck in the middle. Like, okay, I don't know what to do, because this is my friend, but at the end of the day, this is my partner.
Yeah.
Especially depending on how old they are too. They just like, man, this is my husband. I've been waiting all my life for a husband. I need I can have a family with a husband. I can't have a true family with my friend. You could be there and I could vent to you. We could be there. We could do stuff together. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to build with somebody, build a life, a family, or even a legacy with somebody, it's going to be with my partner. So I'm going to have to trump this. That's going to trump my friend. Okay. And then maybe it was some things behind the scenes where a conversation might be had down the road. Like, well, this happened. I tried to stick up for you, but then this happened. I was gone. I was tripping. I was foolish. Maybe they could come back together, find a common ground. Apologies can be made. Like, I should have never did you like that. He put the battery in my back to even do that. I was running my mouth to him because we was that close. Because if you got me, my rule is any of my friends that's married, it's only so much I'm going to tell them because I just assume they're going to tell their wife.
Oh my goodness, I can't stand
that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they be sitting in the bed at night. You ain't gonna believe what Rick done got his up into.
Right, yeah.
You know, so,
yeah. I had a friend who told us, like, if you telling me, you telling my husband. So it was like funny because it's a group of us and we was all just like, well, we know not to tell her nothing because if that's the how it go down, and I'm glad she told us. But Shan, you were saying that you had dealt with the situation that Coach was talking about.
Yeah, how was that? My friend was in a domestic violence relationship, and she really wanted to get out of it. She just really didn't know how, and it came to a point where like I had to face off with the guy, and she was really upset. I was ready to battle with him. Like I was gonna fight the dude. And it ended up that I ended up calling a family member of hers and she got mad at me for that. Now I can now understand why that was, but at the time it was just like, I was just trying to help you. I was just trying to help you.
You was in protection mode.
Yeah, I was, because that's my friend. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't talk for a long time. And I don't know if during that time, like her and him was still together or whatever, but it was understood during our reconciliation conversation that if you still going to be dealing with him, I love you, but I'm going to love you from back over here. Okay. Because I'm telling you, he's going to hurt you and it's going to be physical. And I can't.
Love is blind.
For real.
Take over your life. I still watch that E video because I swear that is such a touching story. But yeah, go ahead.
And, having dealt with my own, I had told her stories of my own domestic violence relationship and how that could end up, and again, we didn't talk for a while, and I don't know if it was just because she wasn't ready to leave him or she was just still mad at me for telling her family, but we came back together again, and now I can understand her position, and I can understand her position, and now we good, but it was definitely understood that you gonna be with him, I can't. I love you from back over here.
Yeah, nah, that's real.
Yeah, that is real. So I'm gonna go to the the article, which is kind of what everybody, the comments were as well, but it's just saying when a friendship is one-sided, when you realize you're the one who's always making the effort, or there's like, it's one thing that I always find funny is, especially at the beginning when I first moved, but I'll call somebody or something and they be like, man, I ain't heard from you. My phone take incoming calls. So the same way I called you, you could call me. So you sitting around waiting on me to call. So that's kind of one-sided. And I think, you think of that like one-sided, but then you also think of if you're the one always doing stuff. Like they even having, if you're the one who's always calling, you the one always texting first. And they put, if they only call you like when they need something, and everything always has to be about them. With some of the things. And I've heard, I think that like Coach used the example, and I think that this was a good one. One of my coworkers, I remember her and a really good friend of hers fell out when her friend got married, had children. She doesn't have children, but she was married too. But she always wanted to go, hang out and do stuff. Mm-hmm. And, they got into it, and the friend said, you real selfish. I'm in a different situation than you are. I got kids. Like, you're not even considering that I got kids, but the other friend was feeling as if it's, that you pulling away from me. But I think too, that sometimes you will find people who, okay, so what do you make? I won't say you'll find people who, what do you make of somebody who every time you talk to them is somebody else that they not talking to? Whether they fell out with you before, now y'all talking again, but they always not talking or not speaking to somebody.
My thing is, you the common denominator. I'm going to start wondering what it is about you that you falling out with everybody. And am I next? Like,
and I think that's when people need to pull people, coattail people who in their life and check them on that. Because especially if you married or something like that, they definitely know that this is what's going on with you. Or you dating somebody and every month you not talking to somebody else, they need to be telling you, like, you need to do some counseling or something, because something going on. Why are you? And they need to really kind of figure out, why are you so unhappy? And then the other thing that I found is a pet peeve of mine is how people will do you wrong, and you are the one who have a right to be mad, but they'll try to flip the script and act like they mad at you, like you did something. What? You did it wrong.
Nice use. But like for me, like, that's why I try to handle things with a level head, even no matter what somebody is doing, because that's how things can get misconstrued. Like, this was a mutual thing that happened between us, where you did something and then I respond off the wall. Now we both owe each other an apology. Nah, we're not about to even do that. You was wrong, so I'm not about to even engage in this. So you could come to this understanding on your own. Like, okay, I was wrong. Like, the only time, like, in some situations, it's not even the fact of who is right or wrong. It's just for the betterment of this relationship. I'm going to apologize for whatever you think is going on, just because it's more beneficial for our life, for us to be at peace with each other.
So how many times do you apologize? Or is there even a number?
I don't think it's a number with that stuff. It's all situational. And it depends on the relationship at hand, too, because some people relationship is just them falling out, making up. They just have a love-hate relationship where they know a part of our relationship is we could get into it just because we have clashing personalities, but at the end of the day, we have a lot of love for each other. Like, I've seen relationships like that, too.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that this little article says is that circumstances change. Sometimes the two of you are great friends, but there are life circumstances that makes friends more one-sided. The friend may have a life change that makes them less inclined to talk. It could be a new job, college, a relationship, or any other change. A long-time friendship will have offering levels of sideness. Just make sure you know beforehand with the balance. So balance and the one-sidedness. So, I definitely get everybody's circumstances change. You know what I mean? But I think that if I was in a situation or that person was in a situation, so I'll use myself, for instance, with what I'm going through, the grieving process, with my dad. Like I said, if you mad at me or whatever, and you still haven't, maybe you don't want to hear my voice or whatever, but you can't text me to say, how are you doing? And you've been in my life and you call my dad, and y'all, you know what I mean? And you know how hard this is. then you really not a friend. And then at that point, I know that, you guys are, saying time and all of that. But to me, then that make me look at you a whole nother way, especially if I went out of my way to make things special for you in circumstances and been there through some of your loss, and then you can't return the favor. To me, that tells me you really not my friend.
Okay. I got. Go ahead, Shay.
Go ahead.
Okay, no, but I was going to say is that not everybody is as strong as you. Mm. So you know better, so you do better. This other person may not be as strong as you or even have the mental capacity or awareness to handle situations like you would. Like you might be able to have the mental awareness to be like, okay, you know what? We ain't really speaking, but let me at least say something. Some people don't have that, or they just can't handle situations the way you would. So they might really want to say something, but just don't even know how, or even have that place at that place of maturity where they could be like, you know what, let me step aside. Because the love could still be there. They just don't have the know-how. But if you know better, and if they know better, then they need to do better. Once you know better, like you can't use ignorance as an excuse, then you have an obligation to do better. So that's how I look at things too. Like me, I don't mind putting my pride to the side and handling a situation and apologizing to somebody, or at least just submitting in a situation to be like, look, man, it ain't nothing.
I go to people face on. I go face on. I want to know what the problem is and all that. And if you can't, tell me, or you don't want to talk about it or whatever, then that's your issue, that insecure that you can't have a conversation, or you just made up something in your mind, or you just miserable and going through something that maybe you really do need to talk to somebody about. Go ahead, Shan, because you was...
Well, actually, Coach took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was going to actually say. Like, what about when you not knowing the right words to say in a situation like that? However, just like Coach said, when you know better, you should at least reach out. You should at least be like, I'm praying for you. You know what I mean? Just to let a person know that you are thinking about them, even if you don't have the right, whole words to say. Just let them know that you know what I mean? You're in my prayers. You're in my thoughts.
Right. And could somebody really not check on you or have an attitude and still, I don't even really, to be honest, I don't even want you praying for me because your heart ain't right.
Oh. And see, that's another thing
you
too.
Said what?
No, let Shannon go. I was just saying the Lord hears all.
I mean, I know He hears all, but if your heart ain't right, you don't even have to say, pray for somebody else. Pray for yourself.
I think anybody can pray for somebody.
Go ahead, Shan.
Just because you still don't mean you can pray for Coach.
Because the prayer ain't personal. It's
exactly
not personal. It's right, more about you than it is about me. I might be upset, but let me put whatever we beefed out about. Let me put that aside real quick, because obviously what you're going through is greater than what we got going on. So I mean, at the end of the day, you can either accept it or you cannot. But I've done what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to go to some of these comments that on my Nikki B and Friends on Facebook comments from when I had posted how do you know that the friendship has run its course. Okay, where is it? Okay, I'm looking for it. Coach working on something. But
Anybody talking to my business? I ain't working on nothing.
oh, okay. But y'all can talk while I'm looking for it, so we don't have no silence thing. I mean, because if anybody ever like had a friend and then I found a thing, but like I had a really good friend, I would call her one of my family,
Yeah.
and I end up, she passed away, and that hit me so hard because I think that we all have friends that meet different needs, and like, certain stuff happen and this is who you call for this. You know what I mean? And, when you lose somebody that's a friend of yours, that's so close to you like that, and you realize how short life is and all of that. So that's why I say if somebody's not being positive and adding to your, value to your life or whatever, then, after you know what a real friendship is, and maybe that person may have been at one point in time, they're just not anymore. And I think that people need to accept that.
No, I think, okay, like you're kind of playing to a point that I made, right? And it's that you understand loss. You understand that even a friend, because that's the thing, like especially growing up, at least for myself, no one truly thinks about a friend their age passing.
Mm-mm.
That is nothing that you even consider. That like, I'm not going to see them tomorrow. Like, we're not going to grow old together. You don't even think of that. So with you going through that and understanding that, it gave you a certain mindset and maturity to handle situations where it's like, you could look at something that you might be going through with a friend and being like, yo, that ain't even worth it because life is too short. Some people don't understand that. Even some people go through things but don't take a lesson from it. That's a real thing too. But you took the lesson.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. But then you got to remember too, like, I think it was Shan, you had told the story. I'll let you tell it yourself about your friend traveling or whatever.
I have, like I was saying, I have a friend that travels a lot. And I'm actually really, really glad that she is able to do so. But it just seems like, a lot of times when I've asked, like, why you don't ever come down here to see me? You've been to a lot of places that are nearby, but you don't ever come see me. And, there would always be like, oh, I just, had this going on. I got this going on now. But then I look up and I see you in a different place. So it really, started to really like bother me, like you just told me about all the stuff you got going on, yet you in a different place. So I just, I'm not really sure, again, what the next step is. We've definitely had that conversation. But right now, I guess because I got my own stuff going on, maybe I'm not really paying it so much more, attention anymore. But I definitely think maybe I should reiterate that and just kind of let her know, like, last time we had this conversation, I just kind of brought it to your attention, but now I'm saying, like, how can we resolve this? What do we
feel
need
in some type of way, right?
Yeah.
So
right.
then, and maybe the suggestion for you guys to be, if you're, many miles apart or whatever, like, make a promise, because my friend who did pass away, she lived in a different state. She ended up coming to Grand Rapids when I was there. And she went to Grand Rapids just to go to school. So she ended up going back to Detroit where she came from. And granted, it may not be the same distance, but me and her always made time for either she was coming there or I was going there. We always made time for each other because even when she passed away, it was at the beginning of December, and she was coming down here for her birthday because her birthday is in December. And so we always made time for each other. And maybe that's what you and your friend who lives out of town need to make sure that you start doing is, scheduling stuff where I come down there, I come down, or we meet, take a weekend, Las Vegas thing. That's inexpensive, or meet somewhere. And so you guys can at least, spend some time together, because we would do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So here goes some of the comments that the people said the exact question was, when do you know that a friendship has ran its course? And it says, Mike said, when you don't give a damn no more.
Okay.
Zane said, when respect is gone, you don't care to see or hear from them ever again. Rebecca said, when you give more than you receive consistently. Chanel said, when they start telling your business to others and talking about you behind your back. Davey said, not talking as much and not hanging out like friends used to. Candace said, when you start thinking of ways to avoid that person. Tyrone said, when you don't care to see them and it irritates you when they call. Wow. Somebody else said, when you're no longer speaking. So kind of the same thing. And then somebody comes in and they says, only when lines have been crossed, maliciously crossed. Other than that, stop being so quick to cut people off and out of your life. Everything has a process. Be patient. Have a life of your own outside the friendship and be yourself. So that's somebody who, saying, time will come. And then other people just pretty much said the same thing. When you allow petty foolishness interfere with your long life history, when you hear their name, it don't even have to be them. You're immediately annoyed just even hearing about them. Yeah. That's what Dee Dee said. Dee Dee said that. So, and it was constant. It was really, somebody said is really usually obvious. Somebody said, so I don't know if that will be the case. And then somebody said, when they keep doing the same thing that they keep apologizing for. And then it was a whole lot more. And then finally somebody said, a guy, if she F your man or son. So like you just said, sleeping with
the son?
Yeah, you must got a grown son, so we probably figure,
Yeah, I mean, if they both grown,
I think that's what
made
he's
a decision
saying.
Too.
Right.
So maybe he ain't gonna be friends with neither one of them.
Yeah.
He could be like deuces on both of y'all.
But I do think, though, I wouldn't say that. I think something that can get in the way. Like, I wouldn't say that you can't be friends with the person no more, but just like when you guys are just doing, y'all are just y'all just grew apart. I think that's a real thing. I don't think that's something that we've discussed too much. I can't really recall like a perfect example. I'm not gonna say no names. I'm gonna try to tell a story in a way where it's not obvious. So, bumped into somebody I haven't seen in years. It's been years, but we were pretty cool. We were pretty cool friends. I'll say that. And so we probably only talked for maybe 5-10 minutes. But in the midst of that 5 to 10 minutes, we didn't talk about nothing. I could just tell our lives were very different. Like he bringing up girls from like high school that we used to mess around with. Where it's like, yeah, man, I seen no girl, then I seen that girl, and it's like you still in the position to even see these people. Was like one. Then he's like, yeah, then he showed me a video of him fighting somebody. And I was just like,
he ain't grew up.
You still out here fighting on camera. showing people.
Right.
Because like after, like, the thing is like after a certain age and like fighting should only be a defense thing, in the defense of something, whether yourself or a child, or maybe even like for me, if you're trying to put your hands on me, you're gonna get what you're looking for. Try to put your hands on my kids, you're gonna get what you're looking for. You try to put your hands on my mom or a sister or a cousin, you're gonna get what you're looking for. Like, I don't really play the, well, if she don't stay with him, might as well let her. No, even if she stay with him, he gonna know moving forward that we don't do that. Yeah, that we don't do that. That is something, because that'd be the thing in those situations usually, where if a dude is doing that, he usually thinks, ain't nobody gonna and come for her honor. You know what I'm saying? Where she ain't got nobody, and it's like, nah, whether you stay with this man or not, he gonna know this ain't a thing that's even about to be going on, and you gonna know that you got somebody who care about you, who gonna have your back in this situation. I don't care what it is. Don't nobody deserve that.
Yeah.
And I agree there. And I think that that's important, because there's certain people that will allow disrespect and stuff like that. And whenever that happens, especially with somebody who I consider, like if it was my child or something, and they know it's my child, then you disrespecting me. Because anybody know, if you know me, you know not to touch my child. So therefore, anybody who does it is really disrespecting to me and the whole family, because they think that they could dog you and ain't nobody gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
And people need to know that there's some people that it's consequences to pay. Real life consequences.
But we're not talking about real life situations. I'm gonna make sure I clarify that. It got real threadish. It got very threadish. Let me make sure I take this before this get played in the Oxygen special. October 20th, she stated, real life consequences. Real life.
Right. It comes with real life consequences. That ain't me.
Yeah, so that'd be. So did you hear her say it would be real life consequences? Nah. But weren't you there? No. See what you just did there? See what you just? No.
Play
Sorry,
the tape.
man.
Right. Play the tape.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't me.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we wrapping it up, it's time to start wrapping it up. And it sounds like, so did we get to the fact, I wanted to just add a piece on when you said outgrow. I think that people can outgrow, like, people who, you were friends with. And I always think a lot of times the people that I would say that I outgrew really weren't friends. They were more associates. But if I'm, if you going through that hanging out stage all the time and stuff like that, and, we done got older families and stuff like that, and you still trying to do that and I'm not, then that's really outgrowing somebody. But I don't think that I've been in a friendship like that where I felt like, that I outgrew somebody. So, but I know that, it definitely happens to people that you be like you just said, if you bump into somebody and they having the same conversation, it's to me like the guy who come to the who played football in high school and still come to the games and didn't get a scholarship and still, I'm gonna help out the team with the workout. I'm gonna work out like, dude,
go home. No, I ran into a guy and he was just like, man, you don't ever think about just playing football for Fun? Like, no. Like, ain't nobody tackling me at 29. Like, that would hurt. And I'm in shape. That's the thing. I work out, and I know for a fact that somebody tackled me, it's gonna hurt.
Right.
And how I'm gonna tell my partner that? You know what I'm saying? How am I explaining to my kids? Oh no, I can't. We can't do that. You know, I had practice. You know, hurt my back. They ain't gonna want to hear that.
Right. Can't even throw the ball with your son because your shoulder
because you
went
didn't
out.
hurt yourself playing.
Right. So I think some people just, do that. So.
Yeah.
All right. Time for our closing remarks on how do you know that a friendship has ran its course? We'll start off with Shannon.
I think if you all just can't get along, you can't find a common ground, there's no resolve to maybe any of the issues you have, maybe it is time to move on. However, I'm going to stand by my stance that if a person has made it to even being called your friend, I don't really believe that there's expiration to a friendship. You really have to cross some major lines and boundaries for this friendship to be just over.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to throw in just this real quick, sorry, because I know we're at the closing argument, but it's really funny because sometimes you'll watch like court shows and stuff, and it'd be so funny, like a little bit of money, $250, these people not friends no more about. You know what I mean? Like this, you didn't want to pay that $250, so now you're not friends with your boy that y'all grew up with, that you hung out with, and over $250. Like, it's amazing how much of that you will see on TV or even, reality TV for that.
And see, we can be friends. We can still be friends, but don't not to ask me about no money.
Right. So, go ahead, Coach. Final remarks.
My final remarks, friendships can expire, friendships can come to an end. But if there's a way that y'all could move on and reconcile, or just move on and love on, I think you should, just because life is too short. That's all I got.
Okay. And so I'll just say that, that you just have to really evaluate the friendship, where you are in your life, what you need, what you don't want to be bothered with. And sometimes you just in a different space where you just don't need the negativity. And if they say, time and all of that stuff, but sometimes some stuff just run its course. But sometimes some people can get through it and move on like nothing ever happened. Nico's godmom, for instance, she and we didn't talk for a long time. We had got into it over something petty, but she and I didn't talk for a long time. We reached out, had lunch, and it was like we never, had, a falling out or whatever. But I think, too, if you somebody who always falling out with somebody different, like, to me, that's the stuff that have you thinking or thinking about it as you get older. If this person always not speaking to somebody, always got an attitude, it really is more of them than you. And like I said, at this present moment in my life, maybe because I'm grieving and all of that, but at this point in my life, as we're having this conversation, I just don't have time for nothing negative, no Debbie Downers, no negativity. I need people who trying to truly look out for my well-being, want to make sure that I'm good because I'm going through. I don't want somebody who don't care or, well, I care, but I didn't know what to say. Send a text, praying for you. How you doing? And anybody that I don't have a lot of friends. The people who are my friends have been my friends for a long time. If I fall out with any of my friends, they are more than welcome to continue to have relationships with my sisters, my mama, and all of that. But I speak to you when I see you, and that's it. So I think it can, some things do expire. Some people may not want them to, but I definitely think that it is a possibility. Anything else, people?
No.
I think we've covered all bases.
All righty. So thank you guys for listening again to another episode of Nikki B and Friends. Please follow the Facebook page at NIKKIB and Friends on Facebook, and Nikki NIKKIB _ and Friends. No. Nikki B _ and _ Friends on Instagram. And we did have, sorry for you know what, because we didn't put it out, it was a comedy show, but I did put out the flyer for the comedy show for our sponsor. Yeah. So that's why you didn't hear about it, but I did make sure that I posted it on the Facebook page and our page for the comedy show, Say It Out Loud Entertainment and Team Marshall brings to you guys in Grand Rapids monthly. So that new flyer should be coming out. So again, thanks for working out with us. We appreciate you. Please send in your comments, get into the conversation, and peace.
Peace.